Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. In today's video, I am spilling all of the tea on something that I have only briefly mentioned in passing here on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram page, and that is how Ethan and I survived when we lost 60% of our income in 2017. In this video right here, I talk about how we have 7 income streams now and a couple more in the works, but in 2017 we didn't. We only had 2 income streams, and this was a big mistake. The reason that we only had 2, we didn't have a whole lot of side hustle income, is because I was teaching full-time. I was doing a lot of extracurricular stuff after school, during school. I did work spring breaks and summers, so you could technically say that that was our side hustle money. And then Ethan was commuting 45 minutes to work and from work every single day. So our days were already very full. And like I said, this was a big mistake. We only had 2 streams of income and we relied heavily on both of those for our monthly expenses. We had our house already, so we had a decent amount of responsibility and we weren't contributing hardly anything at all to retirement. It honestly was negligible. When we started really shifting our focus to retirement in 2019, we were starting at 0, which was very discouraging, but we've come a long way since then. Let's get started. So a couple months into 2017, and Ethan is so done at his job. It was not a great company necessarily. They glorified workaholism. They really wanted you to put work before anything else in your life. Moving up in the company was super political, and it was all for a desk job. We started networking. We were asking around, we were talking to our friends, seeing who was hiring, who enjoyed their jobs, and a friend at our gym actually worked for Nike's manufacturing company here in St. Charles County. So he talked to Ethan and he said that they were hiring on the production floor. Now, this was an entry-level job, and Ethan had to take a pretty decent sized pay cut in order to go from his position downtown to working at Nike's manufacturing facility. We had heard great things about working for Nike in this facility in particular, so we decided to take the leap. We knew it was going to be a significant pay cut, and again, with only 2 streams of income, this was super risky. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. We knew the risk and we did it anyway, but like I said earlier, Ethan was desperate to get out of his current job, and so the risk versus reward was worth it to us. Exactly 6 months later, I came to a huge crossroads at my workplace and left altogether to start this business. Obviously, it was a cold startup, no audience, no nothing. I was literally starting from scratch, so I made $0 in the beginning and made very little my first couple months in business. All in all, we lost 60% of our income within a span of 6 months. So for every $2 we were making previously, we were now making less than 1, and it was terrifying. We had this house on the line if we fell too far behind, and our safety net was our tiny savings account and unfortunately our credit cards. In full transparency, in the months to follow, the stress and tension that we were under, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. And we were in such survival mode. I don't even think at the time we had realized this huge fork in the road when it came to our careers and how pivotal this year was for us. We were extremely downtrodden even prior to losing 60% of our income because we both felt so incredibly trapped and suffocated at our jobs. And the money we were earning just wasn't enough to justify that feeling. And really, I don't know if there is an amount of money to justify feeling trapped in your career and at your workplace. Our income felt very fixed. I was already working, like I said, spring break. I was working all summer and we were just breaking even. We weren't even contributing anything to retirement. We weren't investing our money at all. Enter this huge fork in the road for us, which was 2017. And I'm still convinced that if God hadn't stepped in and literally pushed us out of our workplaces and into what he had called us to, I literally wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. And if you want more information on how I transitioned from full-time teacher to full-time entrepreneur, I go into way more detail in this video right here. But I can look back now and say that I'm so thankful that God didn't let us stay where we were. I'm so thankful we lost 60% of our income because it lit the fire under us that we needed to not live comfortably anymore. And it was a weird type of comfortability. And maybe you guys can resonate and relate with this, but we were living not super comfortably. It wasn't even really a desirable situation prior to 2017. We, graduated college, we got married, we got the jobs, and we were just kind of waiting for life to start. We were waiting for things to take off. We weren't investing, we weren't comfortable. It wasn't, like I said, a desirable situation, but it also wasn't painful enough for us to change. We were basically living paycheck to paycheck, and nothing was really pushing us to do any more than that. It lacked a sense of urgency. We trudged our way to work and we trudged our way home and we ran the numbers, and we definitely had an income problem, but it was risky to leave our jobs and it was risky to stay. And so we just stayed, and that was our situation until we couldn't do that anymore, and we lost 60% of our income within a span of 6 months. So here we are, November 2017. We had just lost 60% of our income, and guys, we got to work. We couldn't just wing this stuff anymore. We couldn't just shrug our shoulders at the end of the month and say, still paycheck to paycheck, maybe we should do something. We weren't treading water anymore. We had sunk. We were sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor, and it was literally sink or swim. We knew that the next 6 months were going to make or break us. And I want to pause here for just a minute and speak to you. If you clicked on this video because you saw the title and you've lost a majority of your income in 2020 as a result of quarantine and the shutdown, I want to encourage you that it is 100% possible to recover from something like that, and not just recover. What I'm going to go on in this video to explain is that we didn't just recover. We weren't just back to living paycheck to paycheck afterward. It's 100% possible to thrive as a result of this devastation, and I want to encourage you with that. 3 short years later, and we are worlds away from where we were in 2017, and you can be too. I don't say this lightly. It takes a lot of work, of course, but your current circumstances do not dictate your future. Time started ticking, and we knew our savings was finite. We had a very limited amount of time to get our income up. So Ethan started working overtime as much as he could at his new job, and he also started donating plasma, which honestly brought in several $100s a month. Meanwhile, I threw myself into the business and I started building an audience on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I went to in-person events. I walked into rooms where I didn't know a soul, and I made a lot of mistakes. But what I want to communicate here too is that I was failing and consequently learning really, really fast. I didn't have the luxury of letting imposter syndrome hold me back. Like I said, I'm so thankful that we lost 60% of our income in the way that we did, because I didn't have time to worry about being afraid or worry about what other people were going to think. I just literally didn't have a choice. Messy action, learning, researching, collaborating, those were all of my day-to-day activities, and it was just straight implementation on everything. At home, we got serious about our budget and we made some really tough decisions. No vacations, no traveling whatsoever, a very modest and calculated Christmas. We didn't buy anything new really for a long time. And shout out to Ethan. It was such a total team effort between him and I. I mean, it was a battle on all fronts, and not between us, but us teaming up together against our current financial situation. We went ham in all areas of this, and Ethan slowly started to move up in the company, and he made it very clear that he did not want to stay where he was for very long. He was very eager to learn, and he had very open communication between him and his boss about increasing his responsibility, and was able to move up, like I said, rather quickly. That's not a super fun conversation to have between you and your boss. It's not comfortable. It's at times downright painful, but this time of our lives, it did suck. It sucked for a very short amount of time in the grand scheme of our lives, though. Here's a picture that I absolutely love, and it's a picture of my office in 2017, and I love looking at this and just remembering how far I've come and truly where I started building the business out of necessity and just really grinding and hustling that first 6 months in business. It was so hard to persevere, you guys, but deep down I knew that it was worth it. And that's, again, my encouragement to you. It is hard. It's going to suck for a very short amount of time, but the outcome is worth it. Here's a couple more points and tips that I want to give to you guys if you are in this similar situation. Number one is this: we had a strong support system. There were a lot of key people in the beginning that started following my journey, and a lot of friends and family that have supported my business from the beginning. And honestly, I will always be so incredibly thankful for that. The second part of this is that we didn't just rely on our friends and our family to financially support us and to emotionally support us throughout this time. I invested a lot of money into mentors, into business coaches and programs that I believed in order to level up and really take my business from the ground to where it is today. Please hear me on this. I invested in myself and in my business even when it was scary and I was terrified and I, quote unquote, couldn't afford it. And I'm convinced that this is really the number one practical thing that we did that really propelled our situation and got us out of where we were at the end of 2017. Don't roll your eyes at this and just say, blow it off as I don't have a support system, or it must be nice to have a great support system around you. I don't have any accountability. Guys, this is why coaches get their clients such amazing results and transformations. I believe in coaching not just because of the results I get my clients, but also because of the coaches that I have hired that have absolutely transformed my finances and my business as a whole. Number two is we started working smarter and harder. We stopped only trading time for money over and over and over again, and we started to increase our streams of income. We worked through a lot of mindset blocks, and we expanded our financial knowledge when it came to getting our income up and investing to build wealth. Remember, I've said it probably a million times, you cannot work your way into wealth. At some point, your money has to work for you. And if you're thinking, wait, my money isn't working for me, I'm on this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, I want to get off of this and I want to build wealth, keep watching until the very end of the video. I have a special invitation for you. Number three, the situation that we were in, the grind, the hustle, that lifestyle didn't last forever, but I do truly believe that living paycheck to paycheck could have lasted forever because it was just comfortable enough to keep us there, and it wasn't painful enough to force us to do anything about it. Listen to that one more time, guys. Our paycheck to paycheck lifestyle was just comfortable enough to keep us there, but it wasn't painful enough to force us to do anything about it. This is a very dangerous place to be. When we were in that hustle and grind mode at the end of 2017, we could push and we could work really, really hard because we knew it was only going to be 12 months approximately that we would have to do that. There was a finish line, there was an end to that. And here we are, 3 years later, we have traveled, we're maxing out retirement accounts, and we're just flat out in a completely different place than we were at that point. A short time of hard work, focus, and determination can get you years ahead in your life. My question for you is this: are you at this fork in the road? Are you treading water, or have you sunk to the bottom and are at this make or break point? Wherever you're at in your financial journey, don't get caught up in wishing you'd started years ago. The second best time to start is today. If this resonated with you and you really related to the things that we have gone through, I have an hour-long free masterclass for you, and you can find the link in the description box below. In this hour-long masterclass, I go through the 3 habits that are keeping you broke and the very things that we changed in 2017 that completely revamped our entire financial life. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you got value out of it today, and I'll see you guys in the masterclass.